this.
I was detained by the Turkish authorities for a period of 12 days for trying to make a documentary film about 104 asylum seekers trying to legally cross the border from Turkey into Bulgaria. Hi there, my name is Ahmadi Al-Kafaji. I'm a member of the press. I'm a freelance journalist. I want to tell you about the very last day of my detention, the day they actually released myself and my colleague Alexandra. Around 4 a.m. I had had roughly around 2 hours sleep, and one of the guards came to wake myself up and tell me to get ready to go. Our bus down to go to Istanbul airport. After waiting for a period of maybe 9 hours, 5 of those hours were on the bus. We finally went into the airport to go through the security checks and so on to board our plane. At the very final check, where they were just checking our passports to allow us to go through to the gate, police at the airport said there was a problem, and we were escorted to a police booth where higher ranked police officers examined on the computer and made some calls to determine whether we should be allowed to board our plane or not. Whenever I approached the police at the booth and asked them what was going on, they said there was a problem and that I should wait and step back. One of the gendarmes who had been escorting us approached myself and asked if I was on cocaine. And the reason he asked, I believe, was the way I looked and the fact that I was pacing back and forth. I was pacing because obviously I was a bit nervous about what the outcome would be of the police's decision. And the way I looked was due to a lack of sleep. And obviously, eventually, I sat down on the floor, and so did my colleague Alex, and we just prayed. Like from our hearts, we asked God to help us. Thankfully, within about 5 minutes of this, we were told to stand up, and we were escorted by a police officer and the 2 gendarmes who were with us back to the passport checks, where they took our photos, and then after another 5 minutes of processing, they actually released us into the duty-free area. The relief was overwhelming, and it was only when we actually reached the gate and showed our boarding pass and were processed in that respect that we actually felt relaxed for the first time. And yeah, I'll never forget that day, the 4th of June. The flight was a blur. When we finally arrived in the airport in London, Heathrow, we came off the plane, the moment of relief where we actually came out into the public for the first time. The relief at that moment when we both saw all the members of our extended family, the Ansar of Abu Sadiq, from whom is peace. Every single person who was there out of love, out of compassion, out of pride. Like, I've never felt that much love and adoration
Small experience, big trauma,
but I keep saying this, but it's a moment I'll never forget in my life, because it was just what I needed at that time. It was exactly what I needed. The pride we felt from them, I'll never forget. And I really wish the whole world can have that feeling, because this is what the Mahdi, from him is peace, wants. He wants humanity to be embraced and loved and comforted, and not treated with malice and animosity and aggression the way the Jandarma treated us, who are people in authority. And this is what the truth, and this is what God, and this is what love is, you know. It's that unconditional love that you just don't get unless you just don't understand unless you've experienced. And if it was up to me, every single person who's in need in the world would know that feeling. Every single person who has experienced depression would know that feeling, because there's no substitute. There really isn't. And there's, as far as I'm concerned, there's too much injustice in the world. And this, like the feeling that we felt from all of our family members, the Ansar, that was justice. That was true justice.